Will they ever get it right?
This week, we'll look at the moves to improve the mobile browsing experience. Plus, another whistle-stop tour around the gadgets at IFA, Europe's largest consumer electronics show. Web pages are made for computers with big screens, fast connections, and mice. None of which this thing has. So just how mobile-friendly can the web be? Well, Dan Simmons has had his eyes on the road and his ear to the ground, which I think means he's been run over.
For the mobile industry, waiting for the internet to catch on has been like waiting for a bus that never comes. Just 1 in 10 Europeans actually use their handsets to go online. And apart from Japan and Korea, where faster connections have been in place for some time, the situation is pretty similar in most other places. Limited access, confusion over cost, awkward page layouts, and slow connections are blamed. The faster 3G handsets haven't exactly been the last word in fashion either.
It's like picking a girlfriend or boyfriend. First thing and the most important decision for people is what does it look like? It is a fashion item today. I can't even name a 3G product that you can have more than 1 or 2 colours in. 2.5G products that you can have a plethora of colours, a plethora of cases can be changed, etc., etc.
That is slowly changing, with smaller, sexier 3G phones starting to hit the shelves. But it all sounds pretty depressing, unless we're so hung up on the failures of the past that we just can't see a mobile phone internet boom when it's staring us in the face. This year there's been a major shift towards getting more familiar web-based brands on small screens, tailored to mobiles. To make the growing number of websites specifically designed for mobiles easier to find, the web domain .mobi has been set up. Anyone will be able to register a .mobi site from the end of this month, all of them configured for mobile viewing. The boom in user-generated content is also likely to boost mobile internet take-up. This phone automatically sets up and sends pictures to my own photo blog, and YouTube now has a dedicated mobile phone portal for users in the US to upload clips while on the move. With typical home broadband connections now over 1 megabit per second, 3G's average of 200 to 300 kilobits per second isn't exactly warp factor 9. Enter the mobile industry's shiny new Ferrari, a sort of souped-up 3G service called HSDPA.
Well, with HSDPA, the testing that we've undertaken in the live network, we've found that we can achieve speeds of up to 4 times the speed of normal 3G. So that's quite a significant improvement, offering enhancement to the customer.
But having checked out the Mirrors restaurant, there was no signal, and so Paul manoeuvred. Half an hour later, he found a sweet spot on the ground floor. Time for the test. The two phones are identical. The one on the left has a 3G signal, the right one HSDPA. The task, to download the BBC's homepage.
Ready, steady, go.
At around 1 megabit per second, it's impressively quick. Operators don't plan to charge us extra for HSDPA, but do we know how much we're paying anyway?
There is a fear factor among customers that we need to acknowledge, we do acknowledge, and we need to get better at actually approaching payment for internet services on the mobile in a better way.
More operators are moving towards unlimited web access for a monthly fee. It's an idea in step with how we manage our connections at home. And ironically, it's perhaps the boom in home internet use which may end up being the main driver for internet on the move.
Dan Simmons with a look at the future of surfing the web on our mobile devices. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts on the subject, so get on that keyboard please. Click at bbc.co.uk. Tell us what you make of the subject. Now, time for the latest tech news.
Apple boss Steve Jobs has revealed the much-anticipated iTunes movie download service to the world. Sorry, make that just to the US. The films play on iPods and desktop computers and are competitively priced with DVDs, but there's only a handful of titles, and they're all from one major Hollywood studio, Disney. To make the offering more compelling, Messrs Jobs & Co. also released new iPods with brighter screens and longer battery life. And next year, there'll be a $300 Wi-Fi enabled box for your living room, so you can stream the content off your computer and onto your TV. Let's hope it's a better solution than we've seen up until now. Meanwhile, Apple's core music download business faces another pretender, at least in Europe. eMusic is a download service backed by the indies. It's already doing well in the US, recognising that we punters want cheap MP3 downloads that we can do what we like with, not a trace of DRM in sight. Now that's compelling. And finally, every single player of the popular online game Second Life has been asked to change their password after a hacker breached security around the game's user database. Nearly 300,000 players live out alternative lives in the game, which has been up and running since 2003.
Last week, we checked out some of the red-hot kit on show at IFA, Europe's largest consumer electronics show, and you cried out for more. Well, more you shall have, mainly because Gadget Boy Richard Taylor just wouldn't stop filming even when we asked him to. So it's back to Berlin for some more eye-popping, mouth-watering, jaw-dropping kit. This had better be good.
Last week, you'll remember we showed you a smorgasbord of gadgets, from recorded TV on storage cards to all-in-one remotes which control your lights and electrical appliances, as well as your gadgets. Well, IFA is more than just about gadgets, though we'll be returning to some rather cool ones a bit later. It's about themes, and if there was one overarching theme, it was this thing. Television. Call them what you will, LCDs, plasmas, flat panels, monitors, VDUs, or simply just televisions, they were here in their many guises. Lots and lots and lots of them. And lots of people getting very attached to them. There were cute and cuddly ones for the kids, and wireless ones, as in no wires at all, not even a power lead. This battery-powered 16-incher is even waterproof, so you can enjoy around 2.5 hours viewing time by the pool or even in the bathroom. Anywhere, in fact, within reception of the Wi-Fi transmitter pumping at its signal. There were also more portable varieties, now sporting the mandatory digital TV tuners, which only a couple of years back were big ugly boxes which sat on top of a TV. Now they're integrated into snazzy handheld units. But most importantly in this universe of TVs were the high-definition ones, with far more clarity than standard TV. That is, assuming you've got the high-definition content to play on them. And that's where things get interesting, because both the new rival DVD formats have now arrived, and the battle between them for a piece of your living room is well underway. The Blu-ray camp was showing off plenty of hardware and partners for its discs, which can in theory hold almost twice as much data or footage as its rival format, Toshiba's HD DVD. But Blu-ray discs are also more expensive to make, and BD players won't automatically be able to play your existing DVD collection. But which format should you go for?
Well, unless you're an early adopter or you've got the cash to splash, personally I wouldn't invest in any next generation DVD kit for the time being. Remember, it's first generation stuff, which means it's hugely more expensive than it will be in a year or two. It's also prone to more glitches, and most importantly of all, because we're in the thick of a format war, you could be left with kits that's soon going to be obsolete.
One of the other big talking points of IFA was ways of getting you talking, particularly through the internet.
Well, we believe that internet telephony is going to change the landscape of home communication. We estimate that right now 1.5% of users in the home communication world are using voice over IP. In the next 2-3 years, that's probably going to be 20%. So that's a tremendous change and a huge market opportunity.
And indeed, there were plenty of companies trying to avail themselves of those opportunities, like coming up with easier ways to make calls using the net. In short, you no longer need to be tied to your computer. Several handsets are coming on the market pre-fitted with Skype, that most popular of internet calling applications. And there are also a fair few handsets for the non-Skype crowd, who use the other voice over internet standard, SIP, With these phones, you don't even need your computer switched on. Your call simply gets directed straight through your wireless broadband router instead of your phone line. If getting your phone talking to other devices is more your gig, then you'll appreciate some simple yet clever uses of Bluetooth technology. Think about it. How many of our photos taken on picture phones ever make it off them? Well, sending them effortlessly to a Bluetooth photo frame where they can form part of a slideshow could be just the home your snaps are looking for.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for from IFA for this year, but don't worry, we'll be bringing you plenty more gadgets from the show over the coming weeks.
Richard Taylor, once again, in his own personal paradise. And I'm afraid that's it for this, the shorter version of Click. The longer version of the programme is up online. If you'd like to watch it, go to our website. The link to Click is bbc.co.uk/click, and it's also coming up later on News 24. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.